It was October 15th, 1964, and this was the headline on the New York Times. President's aide quits on report of morals case. Walter Jenkins resigned tonight as a special assistant to President Johnson after it became known that he had been arrested here last week on a charge of disorderly conduct involving indecent gestures. One of President Johnson's top aides, a man named Walter Jenkins, had just been arrested after he was discovered having sex with another man at a local YMCA. Jenkins' story is a sort of heartbreaking story about the way that closeted gay public officials were treated at the time. But for President Johnson, back in 1964, it was also a huge political scandal that required immediate attention from some of his most trusted advisors. And so on the day that story broke, and again in the days to follow, President Johnson repeatedly called one of his closest advisors, a man named Abe Fortas. Here's a sample of one of those calls. It begins with Johnson and Fortas discussing whether everyone else in the White House had been checked to make sure they were not gay.
I'm told that everybody else here has been checked.
Oh, you can't be told anything. I mean, you can't believe them by God on oath.
Don Connolly called me at 2 o'clock last night and said this thing's going to make a big difference, that it's already dropped us 3 points in Texas.
I would like very much to have a few minutes with you today.
I've got to make a nationwide television tomorrow, but you come right in when you get through and they'll locate me. Jack will find me and we'll go to it.
I'll go right back over there as soon as I get through here.
So Abe Fortas was a man that President Johnson turned to for sensitive matters, like the Walter Jenkins scandal. He was close to the president. You've probably seen this famous picture of Johnson leaning over and laughing while getting right up in someone's face. And the man President Johnson is leaning over there is Abe Fortas. And so it was sort of a surprise when in 1965, Lyndon Johnson appointed his friend and his confidant, Abe Fortas, to be a justice on the U.S. Supreme Court. Abe Fortas was confirmed by the Senate later that year. But even though Mr. Fortas had been appointed to the Supreme Court, amazingly, he never stopped advising President Johnson. Fortas regularly attended White House staff meetings while he was on the Supreme Court. He advised President Johnson on secret court deliberations, and he even helped Johnson pressure senators who opposed the war in Vietnam. Now, I know what you're all thinking. That sounds like kind of a huge scandal. I mean, imagine how people would react today if Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was walking into cabinet meetings at the Biden White House and briefing the president on secret court discussions about how they were going to rule on his student loan program. Can you imagine? But at the time, Justice Fortas' relationship with President Johnson was not a big scandal, at least not big enough to get him kicked off the court. Eventually, though, Justice Fortas did find himself embroiled in a big scandal, one that ultimately forced him to resign from the Supreme Court. In 1969, Life magazine broke the news with this cover story, Justice Fortas and the $20,000 check. It revealed that Justice Fortas had accepted $20,000 from the family foundation of a man named Lewis Wolfson. Wolfson was a businessman who was being investigated for securities fraud at the time, and the prospect that his case could potentially end up in front of a Supreme Court justice whom Wolfson had given money to, well, that was considered a big deal. Justice Fortas promptly returned the money he had taken from Mr. Wolfson, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to save his reputation. Calls rang out for Justice Fortas to resign, and those calls came mostly from Republicans, like California Governor Ronald Reagan. Reagan told the Sacramento Bee, "There's no question but that the confidence in the court has been shaken." And that year, President Nixon ordered the Justice Department to open an investigation into Justice Fortas and his relationship with that wealthy businessman, Lewis Wolfson. Remember that just a few years earlier, Abe Fortas had been walking in and out of the White House as a sitting Supreme Court justice. But as far as the public was concerned, that impropriety was nothing compared to the appearance of corruption when Abe Fortas took that large sum of money from someone who might eventually have business before the court. And so Justice Fortas, under immense pressure, resigned.